And welcome to today's reading, in which we will be doing the week ahead in love. As soon as I grabbed my deck, there was one card that I had left behind, right? I noticed it, and I was like, oh, there's one more. And it was the Queen of Wands. So the Queen of Wands came out in the reverse here for the ancestral reading. But, just she wanted to poke back out, in the upright. Nonetheless, just the spirit of creativity wants to make itself known. Okay, that's really the message there. So if there's something that's, you've been brewing in your mind, especially if it's a creative endeavor or project, maybe take a look at that. Make sure that, usually a lot of the times it's like you need to just kind of start sort of thing. But make sure you're not falling into that category of, fear of failure from just wanting to have everything right and perfect, and as you imagined it in your head, it'll get there, but you gotta begin for it to get there. Alright, so week ahead in love, 6-card spread. Main energy in the reading, the 5 of Cups. Crossed by the 10 of Cups in the reverse. There's an emotional relationship or partnership that, just seems like it didn't come to pass. I am getting quite, of course, romantic. This is the week ahead in love, but this also could be as well for some of you, or you're experiencing it with a lover and a non-lover, right? Maybe a family member, a friend. But there's just like a huge emotional letdown. Although things may come to lighten up, so let's continue on with your lesson. You're coming in as the Empress, Major Arcana. And 3 may be very significant to you as well. This is the 3rd Major Arcana. But, we were just talking about creativity with the Queen of Wands, and the Empress as well. Very, the energy here is of creativity, resources, abundance. And for those of you that are mothers, this really is heavy energy in terms of motherhood and, just nurturing. And, you can still be a male and have that capacity to nurture. So, just take really, it's like when we say take the messages as they resonate, it's like take the energies as they resonate. Their lesson is coming in as the Hanged Man in the reverse. So there's definitely something going on here. They're caught up on something. Area for growth and the libido card, the Emperor. Guys, Empress and Emperor, you probably can kind of see them, well, not so much, but see how it's like how just the cards have landed. So the Emperor is sitting, right corner caddy on top of, touching the Empress. So I definitely got to say the magic in the bedroom is off the charts, right? It's like when you're intimate with this person, you're just you're very in sync. It's very, very passionate. So what's the issue here? Bottom of the deck is the Knight of Wands. 7 of Cups, and then the Moon as well. Who's in the Moon energy? Is it you or is it this person? But I feel like this person somehow is almost, I don't want to to say it, like maybe self-sabotaging the situation, or causing the energies to just kind of stall out. And as I said, stall out, you can see there with the Knight of Wands, because the Knight of Wands really speaks to like speed, movement, the movement of energy. It even represents an offer. So I feel like whatever is going on with this person, you're just literally like, dude, like, you know what I mean? They're like, dude, or like, whether it's a male or female, like, dude, what are you doing? Like, what are we doing? What is this? That's kind of the energy that I'm getting. And they're just like standing still here with the Hanged Man. Major Arcana 12. But it's like this person is, I feel like whatever the situation, guys, it's like if there's a situation where you think that they're going to sacrifice, I'm not getting that energy here from them, that they would sacrifice whatever the situation is to make this work, or to not have effed up. But I think definitely this person did something against, this Emperor messed up with the Empress. And, roles really can be reversed. It's just like, just listening to the messages of the entire reading. But there's emotional letdown at the core of everything. And I think it's, whatever this 10 of Cups was between you guys, so it's crossing the 5 of Cups. I kind of got lost there for a second. But you're in an unhappy situation, home environment with this person, or when you think about doing more with this person, you actually start to be like, dude, that would be a mistake. But it's like, I don't know, you're struggling to find personal fulfillment in this relationship. And that's really, again, the biggest message, I swear, in these readings has really been taking a step back to reassess what truly brings you happiness. And that includes, romantic relationships and romantic partners. Almost as if, you can walk out of this 5 of Cups situation anytime you want. But, it's whatever the case, there's definitely external forces that are affecting the relationship here. Whether relatives or friend groups or, whatever the case. But you were happy. You were very serenely happy with this person. I mean, you and your Emperor were really solid. But, again, that something could be some type of external influences. And that now I see, because the 7 of Cups had come out with the Moon. And so I think in the situation with this person, they're not yet ready to really, again, I said earlier about making sacrifices for the good of the connection, the partnership, I don't know if they're, again, distracted by shiny objects, if they're just, it's interesting because there really is so much, it's like there's so much light here. This person has so much, I feel like internal light, and like the way they interact with the world, you've seen a beautiful side of them, but it's somewhere within them at their core. it's a crisis of faith that they're having. And external influences could, of course, be playing a role in this already insecure individual. That's, it's as simply as you can say it, because they haven't come into their fruition yet. They haven't they just haven't fully brought to light, I was going to say really bringing to light like their past tower moments. I've really been focusing on the towers more recently here with the moon card recently. I mean, they want it all. They want the house, the money, the fame, or the title, whatever. They want the power. This person's very intelligent. It's like but all the while, they're still blinded or not fully. They don't fully see. They haven't, or, you know what I mean? I mean, these two cups that the characters in the cups can't see. And then on top of that, there's the snake that's I'm telling you, there's like just this snake energy that's like, I feel like low key is like just underlying like most of the collective's interactions, with past romantic relationships. And you look, and I've never said this before, but I'm noticing now how the character here in the Seven of Cups, actually, it's like almost kind of bowing down to all, or like, almost like it's so much, like there's so much that it's weighing on them, you know what I mean? It's like, which is so crazy, because I know a lot of us in the collective that were, just, especially, the very last relationship you were in, or if you're still in one now that's rocky and you just already intuitively know it's not good, you're going to have to make the hard choice here as the Empress. I was trying to think about what I've heard before, but I think it's from Steve's Love Tarot, but it's like, dude, the Empress I think he was talking about the Empress or one of the queens, but it's like the Empress is totally fine on her own. Like, she's capable of, like, fulfilling herself and, back to emotional well-being, that type of thing. But something to the effect of, like, but the Emperor left alone to his own, to his own desires and, what I want to say, to his own, just shadows and whatever the case is going on. It's like I want to say like recipe for disaster, but that's not quite as like, I mean, like left to, the Emperor left to his own devices. If once the Emperor finds his Empress and the Empress takes off, and I'm talking takes off, like poof, energy totally ripped away, like literally cord, like, you know what I mean, like that kind of energy, and then the Emperor's left with that energy into his own devices. I mean, I just feel like there's just, I just see a pattern of like spiraling here. Like never really being able to overcome or like get up out of or onto the other side of these mountains. You know what I mean? Like this, I feel like this person would just sit in their throne and just, I just lost the word. like solidify. They would just sit there and like solidify the energies and sit in that situation. But yeah, I mean, you're feeling let down, guys, at, end of the day. So just, very importantly, as always, we need to feel all the feelings, right? We need to feel the sadness, the grief from separation or from letdown, and we need to give ourselves time to mourn. But of course, very importantly, is just don't wallow too long in these negative emotions, but don't rush it either, sit with the discomfort and then release it when you're ready. But the Five of Cups is just reminding us that things are not as bad as they seem. Even with the moon here as well. Things really are not as bad as they seem. So, even, trust me, guys, I was just there, and now I couldn't feel, like, I feel better than ever, you know what I mean? And I walked away as the Empress from an emperor. From a crooked emperor, mind you, but an emperor nonetheless. Ish. A very pagey emperor. Oh, good Lord. Alright. So then, your energy coming in as the Empress, this is your lesson, okay? First off, guys, remember that you're very beautiful, very abundant, very fertile, sensual. These are divine feminine, divine masculine type energies. You revel in the ability to nurture, create, and either you really enjoy being out in nature and are very connected, or this is a call, if not, to be out in nature, to ground, to, however that looks to you. You're a very nurturing and supportive lover. You're very sensually committed when you're in a relationship. The Empress card could also itchy throat. Thank you for bearing with me. The Empress card could also mean the birth of a new idea, a business or a project in your life. So owing to the good fortune that surrounds this card, this is just ensuring, this is almost backing you up that any situation you tackle moving forward will end successfully and in your favor. So I think the biggest lesson here is just reminding yourself of who you are. You are the freaking Empress. And again, if the roles are reversed, you are the freaking Emperor. And it's time you acted like one. When you think about it, I've heard a couple good things that, really gets you to think. And it's if you think about, you're spending your energy with someone that's, whatever the case, trying to manipulate, get in your head, make you feel bad, doing shady shit, to the expense of what? At the end of the point, it's get out of my way, because, get out of my way so that, my husband can come in. You know what I mean? Or, get out of the way so that my wife, you're keeping me from my future wife. Get out of the way. And it's damn, it's sometimes you just gotta hear stuff like that. Because someone can come in and try to match your energy, claiming, oh, I'm, I'm an emperor, too, and we're the perfect match, and and this and that, and we're a power couple. When in reality, you start to realize, you ain't shit. You're a Page of Wands in the reverse at that. Old news, that's what they are. So, alright. So then, moving over, let's touch here on the Page of Wands in the reverse. The page, it speaks to a message, which is really kind of why I said old news. And when I said old news, I was why did I say old news? And it made sense in my head. But guys, yeah, they're old. This person's going to be old news. So even if you're still in the midst of it, I mean, it really is like when people say time heals all, even though time doesn't exist. I mean, but you get the concept. It's like over a period of days and weeks, months, things start to ease, like, and you just start to let go, start to forgive, start to see things more clearly, and then everything comes back into balance, into alignment. I need to make sure I still had him in the reverse, but this person literally is just impatient, childish. They're unreliable and they're distracted. It's like I think I said earlier, they could be attracted to shiny objects. Like, take that as you will, whether that's people, places, things. I just think this person, it's like they're very inconsistent. They don't know what they want, and they don't feel stable in themselves, like, or possibly even in what they do for their work. But at the very core, they don't feel. It's like they can't rely on themselves. And my apologies, to reiterate, this is coming in as an area for growth. But I mean, yeah, this person has a lot of growing to do. They right now, whether because it's like they're not, they felt the energy that you felt. That's the Emperor and Empress energy can't lie. Like, there's passion there. There's a connection, like a raw connection. However that looks like to you, whether energetically, physically, both, spiritually, mentally, I mean, all of it. But at the end of the day, they're an unreliable lover. They're failing to commit to you, their Empress, or vice versa. And at the end of the day, guys, they are on an aimless search for love, or they're always going to be. And this is just like their future. So, this person is just, they easily just trust the first people they meet. Like, they're, you know what I mean? I think they really just spread their energy around too much, however that resonates to you. And I think this person too is just, they boast a lot. Like, I don't know if they're well off or think very highly of themselves, whatever the case, like always on social media. It's like they're always trying to get attention, as this Emperor. But, the Emperor is coming in for the libido card. So, whether or not you're physically intimate with this person, I do get a strong feeling that there is, physical intimacy, but it can definitely just be energetic, just complete attraction, like energetic, just sync. Take it as it resonates, but I feel like in the area of the bedroom, this person could have been, take it as it resonates, I'm getting a couple different things, either like dominant or domineering, to which it's like it was good, you liked that. But I also feel like they were also always like thinking in the bedroom, or like not always, but like they would, I don't know, maybe compare or talk about the size of their thing, or talk about why you haven't come to do a certain thing. You know what I mean? Like there was always, I don't know, it's like measuring, or, and again, not always, like they could have been sprinkled, but it's like it was that kind of like, it was it's like a weird mentality. I feel like, take it as it resonates, maybe even somehow, literally, you're trying to just enjoy yourself, and somehow they make an argument out of something during the act. Just because it's like the Emperor can have, it's like I'm getting an energy of uncompromising attitude. So, while very powerfully, like, synced you guys were, it's like this person was just, they're not coming from that integral place. So let's go ahead and just pull an advice card. Let's see, to close. Let's see what that is too. Three of Swords and the Three of Pentacles in the reverse. A couple things, right? I mean, it could be that this party was, or that this person was entertaining a third party situation, but, whatever it is that's, going on here, this sorrow, they feel their Empress pulling away, and I think, I don't know, perhaps they... they're, I don't know, let me sit on this for a bit longer. The Three of Swords, it really is about heartbreak. And I did pull this as advice, so I guess it's just, you're just to reiterate what I said earlier about time heals, or like, that things really will get better. The heartbreak's definitely going to come to pass. And the Three of Pentacles is really about kind of showcasing your talents in a way, guys. So I think, what are we talking about? Like endeavors or projects? Because even with that Knight of Wands that came in at the bottom of the deck, again, there's got to be some momentum here. So I feel like whatever, if there's something here with that Three of Pentacles, as you start to heal in your heartbreak, the Three of Pentacles is asking you to put momentum into something here. Put your focus, your energy, and that'll also help to heal this heart, as you heal through your heartbreak. My apologies. I feel like I keep hearing a little weird tapping. It's got to be something. I was like, it's either my cat or my brother's messing with me. But I don't think he is. And, collaboration could be important here as well. Collaborating with others to bring your creativity to a vision, or to kind of, again, just at least spur that momentum. But I think if you can put your focus and energy into starting something here, it's just going to heal. You're just going to be able to kind of alchemize the energies much more quickly. All right, everyone, thank you so much. I enjoyed that, and I'll see you in the next reading.